on campus?
Yeah, I think we had a team meeting yesterday, and one of the first things we said as a staff is we've been looking forward to today for about 89 days. So it's great to have everybody on campus and have an opportunity to start building some chemistry.
And then last offseason, you had talked about kind of the challenges involved in getting a center out of the portal. What was different this time around with Lily and bringing her in?
Well, I think, I don't know that I would classify her just strictly as a center. I think what we do have is multiple players that have some versatility at what we're probably going to call a forward spot. I think you'll see us play two forwards together. At least that's what we're thinking as of right now, versus four guards.
Coach, I'm just wondering, when this recruiting cycle hit, what were your expectations, and now that the class has landed, did you exceed those expectations, or do you have an idea of what you felt you needed to address when this class hit?
Well, I think when you look at the class, in particular our freshmen, two of them in Keeley Parks and Julia Davis, we recruited for a long, long time, since they were probably in middle school, to be honest. And then, obviously Libby Fandel was the first player in the class to commit, and I thought she was a really key piece. And then, obviously, really excited about Tatiana as well.
Brandon, how do you assess the just overall momentum, or if it's on a graph, the trajectory of your program now?
I think we have really high expectations. I think, our administration has continued to invest and increase investment in the program, which has allowed us, in this new climate, to recruit perhaps as well as we ever have.
And I wonder, with those outgoing seniors 2 years ago, and then last year the injuries and whatever, what did you gain from last year that you could still look at it as, hey, this was a step forward or a bridge to this coming year?
I think Samaya continued to be one of the best players in the country. Elle Evans came in and I thought had a terrific year. Reagan Williams probably exceeded expectations. Came in and made the all-freshman team. But I really think it was a terrific year for players like Sanaya Copeland and Laya Canessa and Brittany Harshaw, who really, we probably weren't expecting to play the amount of minutes that they did, and I think really sets them up in a position to compete, going into this next year, and they'll be more prepared for whatever their role turns out to be.
Your roster lists 12 right now. Do you think you're done, or you might add potentially someone?
I think we're probably finished. I think, there's a big difference in today's world in having scholarships and being out of money.
Is everyone who was kind of banged up at the end of the year doing better health-wise now, like Samaya and Elle and whatnot?
Better, I think, having the opportunity to take some time off. We'll expect them. Our practices this time of year obviously are not, October, November type of practices, but everybody obviously went through physicals, and most everybody's cleared to be able to fully participate.
With everybody here, have you had those conversations about goals and what goals you want to get to for this upcoming year? Obviously, I know it's early, but have you had those conversations with the players about the goals for this coming year?
No, not yet. I think, yesterday in a first team meeting, we talked more about, what we really want to get out of the next 8 weeks, and the opportunities we have to spend some time together, whether it be on the court or in the weight room.
Other than her obvious leadership, I wonder what can Samaya do for Julia and Keeley, especially, having been in their shoes before as a freshman, highly rated, all that stuff.
Well, I think here's a really good example of the type of person that Samaya is. She could have lived off campus. My policy is, as a junior, if you want to live off campus, you know, I'm fine with that. And she said, no, Brandon, she said, I need to be on campus for the freshmen. So I think that's what she can do for them.
Coach, I know you've been doing this a while. When you recruit girls, as long as you recruited a couple of those, do you have a moment of like celebrations, or you know, or maybe when they get on campus like this, hey, this is really happening?
Yeah, I heard one of them say, it's finally great to see my name on the back of the jersey. You know, they just had equipment trial on Sunday, and they're in the locker room for the first time, and to see, you know, their name on the locker header, I think those start to make it very real.
Brandon, given the senior season that Jalea had, do you put any expectations on her, or you just kind of expect her to go through the normal growing pains that freshmen go through?
Well, I think we had really high expectations, you know, for her in terms of being an immediate contributor. I think she saw opportunity to come in and play right away. And I think, you know, she's excited for that kind of challenge.
Having gotten Samaya and Julia in recent years, how helpful was that for local recruiting?
I think it's extremely important. You know, we've got some really, really good players, you know, in the 26 class and the 27 class that are 25 to 40 minutes from campus, that have strong ties to KU. And I really think that Samaya impacted, you know, the subsequent classes, and I hope that, you know, a player like Julia will do the same in those classes.
You mentioned Libby. I wonder where does she fit in, and what type of player person is she?
I think she's probably, of the class, from the time we started recruiting her to the end of her high school season, was the most improved player. I don't know that when she committed to us last summer, that I could have told you that she'd be the Gatorade Player of the Year in Iowa. And she just had a phenomenal season, you know, culminating with a state championship. So Libby is a big guard, very, very good athlete. I'm glad that our volleyball staff did not see her play volleyball. She can really shoot it, just a versatile, you know, big guard that we think can contribute right away.
And you said versatility earlier too. Is that, do you view that as a luxury or an identity or both, or what how do you see that?
I mean, I think we have, on the perimeter, I think we have some versatile players that can play multiple positions there. And then I think, you know, when we start talking about our front line, I think there's some lineups that we're gonna be able to play some pretty good athletes together.
Any other questions for Brandon? All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.